Hi, I'm Jamie with The Saving Secret. I'll help you be more intentional with your money. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Fidelity Business Brokerage account. I recently set up a business brokerage account to take advantage of those high interest that we see on the brokerage accounts at Fidelity at nearly 5%. So I'm going to talk through how I set up the business brokerage account. What are some of the features that they have, how to set it up, and some of my personal thoughts at the end. So without any further ado, let's jump in. All right, so the Fidelity Business Brokerage account, the first reason I wanted to get into it is because I wanted to take advantage of getting 5% money that's just chilling in my account. It's kind of like a high yield savings account. But if you're a business owner and you're looking for high yield savings accounts, there's really not a lot of good options out there. So even as of October 2023, you can earn up to 4%, but that's with money just sitting in an account or savings, or there's a lot of times there's fees for having a certain amount of money in there. There's minimums, there's an account fee. There's all this kind of mumbo jumbo that I just don't like to deal with banks. My personal opinion, if you've seen any of my other videos on banking, I really think like banking is kind of dead. But for business, it's kind of important to have business bank accounts, but some of the services aren't that great. But with a Fidelity Business Brokerage account, let's take a look at what this account enables. So one of the things is there's no account fees whatsoever. Doesn't allow any kind of fees, which are super nice, but you can invest in different assets, just like you would for a personal, but for a business, you can invest in different stocks, different things like that. It offers you a lot of free tools. One of the things that we love about Fidelity, right? But there's also ways where you can deposit your money into your account. You can transfer money from a different business account or from a personal account, from another brokerage institution. You can even set up direct deposit. You can even deposit checks through mobile. You can write a check. There's a lot of different, what I would call cash management features that are part of the Fidelity Business Brokerage account. Now, there are two account features that are enabled in the personal that is not allowed on the business, and that is access to a debit card, and that is Fidelity Bill Pay. But without those two features, you can really do a lot of the same banking features, not only getting that 5%, but you can basically pay your bills, monitor a lot of things, and being able to get that huge amount of return on your cash. So if you're unfamiliar with uninvested cash, what Fidelity has is what's called a core position. And right here, it kind of gives a breakdown of how it works. So they say, think of your core position as where money is held before you invest it or distribute it or pay bills. So for Fidelity, they use one of a couple different options, but the main one that they typically use and talk through is SPAXX. And so it's a taxable money market fund that follows the US government agency and treasury debt. So it's related to purchasing and pretty cool. So let's look at that exactly. So in Fidelity, if you just type in SPAXX, it kind of shows you, and the 7-day yield is 4.98%. And so for me as a small business owner, I use this Fidelity business account as my kind of my main account. And what it allows me to do is all the money that flows in there, it's just earning that 4.98% feature, which is really kind of nice. And again, if I need to pay bills, I can attach to it. So pretty easy to kind of get that going. So you might be saying, well, Jamie, this sounds like a no-brainer. Why doesn't everybody use the Fidelity brokerage account for businesses? Well, this is where I may lose some people, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And again, if you end up signing up for the business brokerage account, please let me know in the comment section below, because I always like to hear business owners that are taking advantage of their business, that are taking advantage of these learning opportunities, and it always just gets me excited. But there is an online form you need to download. It is not online. It's actually a PDF that you need to download and walk through it. And I know before you get nervous, let me walk you through it and some of the cool features of how to be successful when setting it up. So When you go over here, it's the new Fidelity account business. So the first thing I will say is Fidelity, if you're not familiar, has world-class customer service. There's a number right here where you can call through the process and they're going to help you navigate the form. They want you to be successful and set this up correctly. But I would say even when I initially filled it out, I had a couple of things that I had missing, and when they helped me get the information updated and got me the account. So I know this process, you see 20 pages, you get a little overwhelmed, but let me just walk through it high level. And again, you can figure out if getting 5% interest on your cash is worth setting up a business brokerage account and doing that. So let me walk through it. So you're going to need to fill out your business information, who you are, kind of what that is, pretty basic. What kind of, how are you set up as an LLC, or are you taxed as an S corp, whatever it may be. They need to know that information, your state. Then it asks you about the individual. So they asked about the business. Now they're asking about the people who are in the business. Obviously, that'll be yourself. If you're a partnership, or if there are other shareholders, you'll need to fill out that proper information. If you have an additional one outside of yourself, you'll need to get that information. It talked about the core position. That's your money that's sitting in it. What does it do? We've already gone over that. Then it'll talk about your initial funding. How are you going to fund the account? Again, there's no minimums, but it does kind of get started. You can transfer different money from an existing account, from another bank. You can even do a couple different options to kind of get the fund started. Then I would say ongoing fund options, you can deal with this later. This isn't even necessary to set up now, but if you know there's a business or account that you're going to want to transfer from, you can add that in there. Account features, one that I think is really great is check writing. So it's the ability to pay bills with a check right out of the Fidelity business brokerage account. So you need to do that, but there is an additional check writing form that you will need to fill out. Then they talk about business ownership. You'll kind of want to go through that, and certifications, then your required signatures and dates. So you're going to make sure if you're the only person, you just need to sign it and talk about who you are. Continuing to navigate this really fun form, because we all love forms. It's going to talk about required supporting documentation. So you fill that out, and then they're also going to talk about, hey, for me, I'll give you an example. I am an LLC, taxed as an S corp, so it made sure that all managers were there, and that's sections 2 and 3. So make sure those are properly filled out. I did. The other thing they're going to need is legal documentation, such as an operating agreement, where the name of the LLC. So they need that supporting documents to get going. Now you might be saying, okay, so I go through that, Jamie, I did all that information. Now what do I do? So one of the things is that you need to complete this. And again, you need to make sure that it's not an electronic signature. It actually needs to be what Fidelity calls a wet signature when you get that in. So you will need to print this documentation off, sign it, and have it ready to go. But you don't have to just necessarily mail it or do overnight mail. There is another option. And so I will talk you through how to actually submit your application. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to something that's called Contact Us. And from every page on Fidelity, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's this little link that says Contact Us. So you can go ahead and click on that. It'll bring you to this Contact Us page. From there, you're going to scroll down into this section that's actually called Send a Secure Message. So you're going to click on that, and it'll bring you here. Is a secure email right for you? And so this is where you can actually submit information. So I kind of gave you some examples on here. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you call it opening up a business brokerage account. You can say, you can drop send it to account services because you're opening up a new account. And then these are the things that you are going to need to attach, 3 things, possibly just 2, but you're going to want to attach that new business application that's 1 through 15 pages with a wet signature. Again, an actual pen. That's just a fancy term of saying it. And then you will need to attach your operating agreement or whatever documentations showing that you are an established business. So that's what you're going to need to check there. And if you did enable check writing, you're going to need to fill out the check writing form. Again, it includes a wet signature. But these are the things that you're going to want to attach. Include that in there. This is exactly how I did it. And I can promise you, once I did it, they said I had something mistaken. They needed to double check with me. I was able to get that information updated, send them the correct information over here, got it open, and that is how I was able to successfully open up the business brokerage account and really take advantage of that high yield savings that you want in your business account. There you have it. That is the Fidelity Business Brokerage account. This is an account that I personally use. I think it's a great feature. Again, moving away from banking, but having a lot of the same banking features. Again, 2 features that they don't offer is a debit card, and they don't offer check writing. But overall, even without those features, I feel like this is a great way of using it as a main banking solution for your business. You're able to use direct deposit. You're able to send and deposit checks right there on the Fidelity app. It's a very cool feature that kind of rolls it up. But again, if you felt this information was helpful, make sure you give it a like. If you did sign up for this, be sure to let me know in the comments section below. If you have any questions, let me know. I've done lots of different videos on Fidelity. Feel free to check out some of mine on personal banking. So maybe you haven't seen some of these personal banking options with Fidelity and how to take advantage of those wonderful features and take advantage of it. Thank you so much for watching.